watch list here. We'll run through it real quick. I got MDB on watch for potential PR earnings breakdown. You got a nice range on this bad boy. What's going on? So I do think this one should have. I think this one should have a little bit of juice. I got Very on watch for, on the upside. The caveat is I'd only take this thing if it really hangs out like, over 570 or, something like that. Otherwise, probably not, interested in playing this bad boy. AAL, this one's getting, smoked out this morning too. Delta, all these airlines have had awful earnings in general, but you're breaking down under these MAs. I do think this one's going to have a little bit of shred, and then all these retail stocks are getting smoked out. This 28 was a really key level on M. If it gets below there and starts to build in terms of ORB or something like that, then, we'll get this thing cruising out. You can see over here, right? So you got gap down. You got a nice easy level, 26. And any pattern that builds, as long as it holds under 28, I think this one should be good to go. The caveat on M is going to be retail stocks suck to trade. Retail stocks, they're no good, okay? You have to sit and stand in line, okay? And we don't like that here in America. So, retail stocks. This KSS is hot too. They're all getting smoked out, right? You've got probably a little bit more range on this one, and you're already kind of at pre-market lows. So you'll always have to be just a little bit mindful that if the gap is too big on a retail stock, sometimes the range is sucked out. So you may have to let it pop and then kind of fizzle back under the VWAP. JWN, another one that's a bear flag here. Gap down, you had $6 range already. Not a crazy amount of pre-market volume, but I think it's definitely doable. We'll keep an eye on this one. And then we've got LBs. We got lubes. We got lubes here. Same type. I mean, they're all showing the same pattern, right? So you're going to have to keep them all on the watch list. And then BBW. This one's already actually fading off its gap. So this is probably we'll have to take this off the long list at this point. And actually, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, when you get a stock that like gaps up like this, but it fades off all pre-market, it's just such a pain in the ass to try to long. Because what happens if it starts to, like, say, do an ORV pattern like right over here, it just ends up being like a huge dud because you can't get it going. So you have it'll run into this pre-market resistance. So just be mindful of that. I know this on the small cap side, this UXIN's really doing a pop this morning on some JP Morgan, some JP Morgan upgrades. You may keep this on the list, but I mean, that could be just sometimes a liquidity event where, JP Morgan does the upgrade just to get some of their friends out of it. So I think out of these faves, we've got MDB, Very, KISS. So, all these are in play. And then, add some of these pot stocks if the market holds. You got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests on NBEV. So, like, some of these may go. NBEV sucks to trade too, unless you're really hitting it on big dips. CGC is like a lot smoother of a trader. You can see the incredible range. What you want to see when a stock is really popping is like, let it thrust up and it comes down, right? You get the waves of the stock market really working with this thing. Otherwise, like, they're really hard to trade. Man, I had a nice entry on this thing yesterday. I ended up kind of busting out of this thing. So, be safe today. The market is at resistance, and we got to go and do what we got to do. I apologize for being late today. I do a mentorship group like, an hour before market opens, and we were just running late. I forgot. So trade smart. I really apologize. So we have morning class, and it just went over long, but I'll make sure be a little bit better about that. Be good today, guys. The market's at resistance, so just, be careful. I don't know if we're going to have